Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Light Review podcast. And I'm overjoyed today to have Ray Molony with me. Hello, Ray.
Hi, great to be here, John. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. And the reason we're here is because over the last, believe it or not, Ray, over the last year or so, there's been this quiet conversation. People went, so what's Ray up to? What's he doing? And then you
trying to look busy.
You chair a Rico Light webinar and you announce that you are from Build Back Better Awards. And I went, what? What's that then? So help us along here, Ray. Tell us all about what you're doing.
Well, we wanted to do, Gordon and I and Steve Harrell, who's also involved, we wanted to do something that was sort of, zeitgeisty, that capture. We're in a new world now, clearly, and the built environment needs to look very different to what it did before. I really believe that. And I think across all sectors, particularly obviously workplace, retail, residential, but I think across the whole piece, we need to rethink everything. And I think the pandemic gives us a unique opportunity. It's like the post-war period, creation of the NHS and all that. We have a unique opportunity to make change rapidly, and we've seen already in other sectors, like with the stimulus money and we've seen the vaccination program. We've seen how we can actually affect change, with vigor and resolve, with quite dramatic change. And I definitely see this period, the post-pandemic years, as an opportunity to tackle a lot of the systemic issues we have. I think that so we wanted an awards that focused on those areas and on the new age and the new buildings for a new age. So we wanted to look at that, because I'm very personally interested in what would be different. How will the workplace change? How will retail change? How will the 2-bedroom apartment change when people are working at home 3 days a week?
I think that's actually a very interesting route to actually, it's a route to go out and find, because it's not actually sitting on the doorstep saying,
yes, correct.
Correct. We've got to go out and find this one. And I'm minded that we seem to have a prime minister who people do not necessarily take seriously, and I don't know that he takes himself seriously. So when he said back in May last year, we need to build back better. Mm-hmm. Well, first off, it was one of his usual 3-word mantras that is said today and forgotten tomorrow. But I've got a feeling that he whether he intended to do it or not, he hit a nerve, because all of a sudden everybody went, absolutely right. We have got to build back better. We know that, I mean, the RIBA have been saying this for the last, they build Britain better, I think, in 2015. And they've put their hands up and said, we're building some pretty rubbish buildings and we've got to do better. So it's that word better. I'm fascinated, though, to know what we all think better really means.
I think. Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
So I was just saying, I think that the phrase really resonates with us. It's not a new phrase. I mean, I think Boris stole it from Biden, who used it in his first election run back in the day, and I think he stole it from a senator and where they stole it from. I mean, but it does resonate, doesn't it? Because I think we all realize that, okay, if we can't just go back to what we did before, and if we can improve things, this is the time to do it.
So what we're looking at then, and I think this is one of the if you like, the howls in the wilderness from our friends and colleagues in the industry, is we're doing it properly and we're losing business to people who are not doing it properly. Something must be done. And we've all been talking about this, good lighting, make it good. And of course, as we've said, silo thinking is not helpful in this respect, because those of us who know already know, but it's the people who we are not getting to. And so the people like the RIBA coming up with things like Build Britain Better, they're looking for support. They have to be looking for. So the idea that we can put ranges of equipment out there that are badged. And when I saw Build Back Better awards, I thought, is this a badge? Is it an accreditation system, Ray, or is it, strictly speaking, you win your badge and then off you go, or are we looking at building a whole family of Build Back Better approved fixtures? Where's your ambition for this?
Yeah, it's definitely a recognition. I mean, we use the word awards because that's something that, you know, is commonly understood, but it's more of a recognition program, so that it is holding up projects and products as exemplars. So it's a label to say, it's a signal to a specifier to people in the business that this is different, this is new, this resonates with our world today, and this is something of note that you need to explore further. So that's the hope, that the label will give you that. So it's more like a red dot award than a you know, something that you know, a trophy that you win and you etc. Because there's, you know, there can be more than one winner in a category. You know, there can be you know, if it reaches if the judges agree that it is of merit. What we're saying is that, you know, we see, you know, a number of crises in the built environment that have sort of gone on and rumbled on for decades. There's basically four of them. Obviously, there's the climate crisis, which is the obvious one, and lighting is getting its head around to that and getting to grips with that, particularly about circular economy, etc. We've also got a well-being crisis. We've had, you know, we have a mental health crisis, and we have, you know, that is something that needs to be addressed. We have buildings that are we used to use the phrase sick building syndrome, but, you know, where the air quality is worse inside a building than outside a building. And, you know, we've created lots of you know, go back to the old Cat 2 days. We've created a lot of unhealthy environments in offices, and we, you know, the lighting industry's got to take a share of the blame there. So that is an issue that is obviously was a trend and was a concern before the pandemic, and is only more so now. And then there's two other areas that we see. There's the productivity crisis, which is well known, and, you know, anything that can improve that and help us build quicker and better. And finally, there's the skills crisis, which, you know, hasn't been tackled. And, you know, we simply don't have the people with the right skills to do certain things. Smart lighting is a great example. Systems integration, etc. You know, and anything that helps address that is also. They're the four crises that we're looking at, and that's a sort of DNA that is running through the Build Back Better awards. I mean, obviously, innovation is the, you know, what are your points of difference? What, you know, how does this compare to market norms? Where's the creativity? You know, in what way are you disrupting your sector? But against that, we have those, you know, how is this product, you know, tackling these issues? And that's what we get excited about.
So you could also be looking at the way that manufacturers are choosing to do things. I'm thinking about, you know, the outliers like Skinflint. You know,
correct. Correct. Absolutely. And in fact, you can enter in, and we're very explicit about this, you can enter a process, you can enter an intangible into the Build Back Better awards. So it could be a way of doing things, or method, or some, like, for instance, the Skinflint is a great example, which if anybody doesn't know, Skinflint refurbish industrial luminaires. You know, they test them, recondition them, put them back on the market. But they have a new policy now, which is that they take back luminaires at the end of life for a certain residual value, and I mean, that's a great creative way of ensuring and dealing with, you know, luminaires at the end of their life. And that sort of idea, you can enter an idea, you can enter a concept, and that's quite exciting as well. So it's not just about a product or a project. So you're absolutely right. I think processes and ideas can be entered too.
Now at the moment, looking at the at where you are, we are talking about lighting, aren't we? I mean, the judges panel, if ever you wanted a list of the great and the good, apart from that, I'm not on it. You know, that is one fantastic list of people. But the site is suggesting that you're going to move beyond lighting. This is building services across the piece, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, correct. We're starting on lighting naturally because that's our background, etc. But we would we want to move next into electrical and building services. But because we see it as applicable across the piece. But obviously, lighting is our passion and our first love. So that's where we want to, get the model going and get established. And we hope that the lighting industry will embrace it and take it to their heart. Okay.
And I also noticed that in the text, you're talking about, this is not just about giving an award, giving a badge to a product. This is also about thought leadership. This is all about producing white papers. So it sounds as if you are creating what should we say, a separate body that can talk to organizations like SLL and ILP and all the other alphabet soup and speak independently, and also take that out from our own silo and say, this is what we're writing about this, and you RIBA, you architects, you consulting engineers might want to have a slice of this. So it's a much bigger process than just the award thing.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, if you look at a lot of awards, you get an award and then they go away for a year and they come back and you get an award and it goes along like that. But
I can't imagine how we know about that, Ray.
Yes, of course. Well, we used to do that back in the day. But so this is you're absolutely right. You've identified it. This is an award with a mission and that wants to have a conversation, an ongoing conversation, and have content and have ideas and share ideas and innovations so it's more than a recognition program or an awards program. We want to talk about and speak to the people, the thought leaders, and just so everything is like, okay, what is new, what is different, and that's identifying that and celebrating. Because often it's extraordinary. Sometimes these ideas and these innovations, they're kind of buried away, and you have to kind of drag them out and hold them up for everybody and say, guys, look, check this out. So that's what we're doing, really. So
this is something I have all the time with the light review work, and I'll go out and talk to manufacturers, and they go, and I say, so what have you been up to? And they go, well, we just do what we do, and we do it all right, we think. And then show me, and then all this stuff comes out, and you say, you do realise that this is actually quite special. Well, really, it's just what we do. Well, that makes you quite special then, and it's all out there, just waiting to be found. So I think there's a date, is there, for the first for your first round of awards, or have I misinterpreted what that is? Have you got a deadline on getting submissions?
We do. Rounds is the right word. We do 2 rounds of judging in the lighting sector. So we'll do one at the end of May, and we'll do one at the end of September. So it's kind of it's more of, instead of that, we wanted to break that link with an annual award.
Yeah,
so it's an ongoing thing. Okay, I missed that one. I'll apply for the next one. That's what we're thinking.
Oh, right. Okay. So this is live and this is ready to go. So anybody who's watching this and going, I think I'd like a piece of that.
Yes.
And want to hear from it.
Absolutely. And entries are rolling in, interesting ones and different ones, and absolutely. You were talking there about sort of things that people kept hidden. I want to just give an example of one. I don't really use Thorlux to have this Thorlux lighting have this tree planting thing. We've done some publicity on it, but they're quite coy about it. But they're planting hundreds of thousands of trees. You can sequester trees as part of an order. You can just put that's on their order code, and it's one of those things the lighting industry is sort of doing quietly, and bang the drum about it. And it's those things, isn't it, that you and we want to do, is to say, guys, check out what these guys are doing. This is great, you know.
Yes.
They also put this massive solar installation on the roof of their factory, and they're doing all this, but they don't, you know, they're kind of, and that's the sort of thing. Oh, guys, check this out. So that's kind of what we want to do, is hold up these exemplars and we say, oh, that's interesting. And I know what you say, that there's a whole chunk of the market that's price driven and value engineering driven, etc. But I do think they look at what is the leading, or they're certainly cognizant of what is going on out there. So holding up exemplars and recognizing and celebrating the good stuff can only encourage those clients and those the rest, pour encourager les autres, as they say, you know, so that they know what good, so they know what good looks like. At least they know what good looks like.
Yes, thank you on that one. I'll tell you what, I'm going to finish on that one, because I think they know what good looks like is another slogan. So what we're going to do,
you can have that one. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So what we're going to do is our final sort of outro slide will have all the details on of how to get in touch with you.
Thank you.
So hopefully you'll get absolutely inundated as soon as this hits the hits the internet. Ray, thanks ever so much for your time. It's a great initiative. I look forward to talking again after May, where you can see how the thing has started and how things start to evolve. Give my best to Gordon and Steve. So again, good to see you guys. You know, the band is back together, I see.
Yeah.
You brought Steve in as a decent rhythm section, I suspect.
Yeah, we're working on the difficult second album.
And we all wish you well with that. Ray, thank you very much. To all of you who are watching, thank you very much. And we all wait to see how well we build back better, because that's what it's all about. Thanks and goodbye.
Thanks for the opportunity. Cheers, John.